Hey everyone, well, in this previous video when I captured M81 and M82, I mentioned that I was having a bit of an issue with the rig. Quite sure what the issue is. It might be a small issue, big issue, I'm not sure, but I'm going to have to address it and let you know. So that issue, of course, as per the title of this video, was when it was slewing to a target, it was stalling, really struggling to get there. But more of a concern, it was also doing it when doing a meridian flip. It would cancel the meridian flip out and then carry on the image sequence, and left unnoticed can result in your cables getting twisted around, snagged, maybe even pulled out. If they don't pull out, it can put strain on other items like your camera here, or if it manages to get all the way around, depending on which direction the scope is pointing, it could end up with your camera equipment hitting a tripod leg, or in my case, my pier. So in this video I'm going to cover what was going through my brain, what I thought might have been going on with the rig, some of the things I found out along the way, the fix and potential fixes, and yeah, hopefully this is going to be at the bare minimum, general awareness or interest, but hopefully, you know, it may help someone who's having similar issues to what I'm having. So a very warm welcome and welcome back to the channel everyone, hope you're all well. So let's dive straight in. I'm going to show you this video clip which shows what was going on with the rig. The rig should start moving behind me. Oh, doesn't like something. Oh, so it hasn't slowed much. Well, she wasn't very well that night. The first thing that popped into my brain here was, oh no, I've broke my rig, because I had the thing in pieces that day when I was doing a tune-up. But that theory didn't stay in there for too long. I thought maybe it's not balanced properly. I double checked that, it was perfectly balanced. Maybe the weight was an issue. I thought, is it overweight? It isn't overweight, but that is a factor. I think that is contributing to the problem. So I want to show you this video clip. There is a combat indicator in there. See if you can spot it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to image management and auto run, and I've already got a light frame in there. So I can't believe I didn't notice this straight away, but once I did, it was telling me that there is a power issue going on. On this mount, the red LED light, if it's solid, all good, business as usual, no dramas. Slow flashing, there is a small power issue, and if you've got something like a lead acid battery attached, it can cause damage to that. And also if it's flashing fast, it's an extremely low power issue, and again, if you've got a battery there, it can damage that. But it can also, if you continue to use the mount, it can cause damage to the motor controller in the mount. Lack of power getting to the mount, which does explain a few things. In the past, I've had this red cat mounted on there, and well, in comparison to what I've got on now, this thing's a monster. A lot heavier, a bit bulkier. When this was mounted on, it was just tickling the mount. It wasn't really putting much pressure on it at all. So yeah, it does sort of explain why I'm starting to see these sort of issues now. But having said this, it does raise more questions, because it's not over the weight capacity of the mount, and I shouldn't be seeing these issues. Not really. Okay, so further down that rabbit hole, more questions. So first of all, there's no battery attached to this. It's being powered by the mains electricity, so there is plenty of juice getting to the rig. I thought it might have been the extension lead, so I swapped that out. Again, you know, the problem persisted, and then I started turning my attention to the ASI air. Thought maybe there's a problem with that, and this is where things start to get interesting. So first of all, the power adapter that I've got attached to the ASI air, it's quite an old adapter, so I thought I'd swap that out first. So I have actually got myself a couple of 12 volt 5 amp adapters that I got for Amazon. So I thought I'd hook one of these up, and it did work in a fashion. The LED light on the mount was still flashing, which says to me the problem is sort of still floating around, but it did stop stalling, you know. However, I wasn't happy with the LED light flashing, so I went and dug a little bit further. So other things that you can do, unplug everything out the ASI air, and then one at a time plug everything back in until a problem arises, possibility you may be able to identify what the culprit is. I didn't do that. I went straight for my dual heater bands, unplug them because they draw the most power, and as soon as I did that, yeah, worked fine, not a problem. I also did the same, replugged the dual heater bands in, and I unplugged the camera, and again it worked. So yeah, all evidence seems to be pointing something up there. I don't know if I'm missing a trick, but if there is a power distribution problem, you know, it's quite disappointing that, because you know, you're supposed to be able to plug everything to this device and it works great, you know, one device for all. You shouldn't have to unplug stuff and have separate power sources to get it to work. At least in my world, you shouldn't have to do that. Please, you know, I'm up in the air on this. Please let me know in the comments. You know, am I overthinking this? Am I expecting too much from the ASI Air Plus? One thing I should point out, this is the older version of the Plus. There is a newer version, so I don't know if that is maybe a factor in all this. Yeah, help me out. Please let me know. So there is other things that I've heard that may help. Pegasus Power Box. I know they are good devices. I don't own one, so I couldn't use one, but I do have a Pegasus Master. I haven't tried this out yet, but there is two 12-volt outputs on this, and I suppose I could power the heat bands. However, I haven't got the right heat bands for these connectors anyway, so I couldn't really use this at the moment. But what I have gone for is the adapter that I mentioned earlier on. I used the other one, and I'm now powering the mount from a separate power source. I'll just quickly show you what I've done. There's the extension lead that goes into the box here, which has got the power adapter in, and I've run that through the pier, and it just pops up. And attached to attach the mount cable, I've got this female to female adapter, which I've also got from Amazon. I love Amazon, I'm always shopping there. The cable that I originally had plugged into the ASI Air, that is now plugged into that. I've got dangling at the moment, and yeah, just goes into the mount and it works fine. All right, so please take with a pinch of salt what I've just said there about the ASI Air Plus. You know, I might be barking up the wrong tree for all I know. You know, I think it's a great device. I really do. I think it's great for beginners. I do understand that, you know, as I've been adding more and more weight, it does put more and more pressure. It takes more power to shift the rig around, but it is still under the weight capacity of the mount, and you know, everything I've done seems to be pointing at the ASI Air Plus. Like I said, I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. By all means, do your own research on this. You may find out something that I've missed. Who knows? So even though I've fixed the issue and it's working fine, I'm like a dog with a bone. I don't want to let it go, and this hasn't been put to bed for me quite yet. There is something else I'm going to try. I've got something coming in the post, and I'll let you know in due course whether it works or if it doesn't. But I have heard great things about it. So, you know, of course, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to start wrapping things up now. All fairness, this is a temporary fix. I am stripping back the rig very soon. It's going to have quite a transformation. I've got some new gear and I can't wait to share that with you actually, but no spoilers. But yeah, the ASI Air is coming off and something else going in place. I'm not getting rid of the ASI Air. It's going to go on maybe a smaller rig in the future. But yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing that with you at some point. So, like I said at the beginning, I hope this has helped in any way if you're having similar problems. By all means, leave a comment, let me know what you think of what I've said in this video, and leave it there. Take care everyone, clear skies, and until next time, bye for now.